What is up, you guys? Maria here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. Today's video, I'm going to focus on tips that I would like to give you that I've thought about for going through the sorority recruitment process, because it is a very intimidating process. It is emotionally draining, as I explained in my experience video, which you can watch. I will link it up here, but it is absolutely 110% worth it in my opinion. I recommend anyone who's even just remotely thinking about doing it to actually do it, because I feel like even if you don't end up in a sorority, which happens very rarely, you do get a lot out of it personally. So yeah. Okay, so these tips, a lot of them will sound cliche, and I will say that they're cliche because they are, but I will definitely elaborate, and hopefully you feel more comfortable with them and understand why they're so important even though they're so cliche. Again, like I said in my experience video, I really won't hold back, because I think people really need to go into the sorority recruitment process with a good mindset in order to get the most out of it. So without further ado, let's get started. My number one tip for recruitment is be yourself, be open, be very candor. Don't be afraid to really dig deep and talk about those deep things, especially as the week goes on, because these women that are recruiting you really want to get to know you, and it helps them see if you're a good fit for the sorority, as well as helps you see if you actually feel comfortable talking to these women, because if you do choose said sorority that you're at, you will be around these women. So might as well see if you're really comfortable with them. And also, you really wouldn't want to put a facade out there, because then maybe you'll end up in a place that you're not as 100% comfortable with because you were putting up a different front. And I would just really reflect before going into the process and really think about what you want to get out of it, but that I'll get into later. Tip number 2. Go into recruitment with an open mind, meaning don't pay attention to rankings or reputations of sororities and what other people say. Sorry, I have notes on my phone. Personally, I think that's a very materialistic approach and can only hurt your train of thought, decision, and even your mentality or mental health. Go with what your heart desires. Don't do it because your friend's doing it, because your roommate's doing it, because you heard this, because you heard that. Go into the house open-minded, see how you feel in the house. I talked about that in my experience video. I really paid attention to what my sixth sense was telling me, basically. If I felt comfortable in the house, I reflected on it and I was like, hey, yeah, I really like this. You know what I mean? Really converse with yourself, not with anyone else. Tip number 3, easy one, drink a lot of water. Especially if you do it in the fall. In the fall and August, it's hot. At least in Florida it is, obviously, if you live here. So drink a lot of water, feed yourself well, make sure you're well fed, because without being fed well, you can't walk around all the walking that you need to do. And also you just, you want to be comfortable. You don't want to be hungry in the middle of a conversation and just make it awkward, you know what I mean? You want to be as comfortable as possible, because the process is a little weird and it's intimidating, so it is good to cover your boundaries and just make sure you're good. Tip number 4 is another quick one. Make sure to wear comfortable clothes. Obviously keep it cute. Definitely don't be afraid to show off your style, because that's what they want to see. They want to see who you are, how you're unique, what you would bring into that certain chapter house. So definitely wear comfortable clothes because of the weather. Again, in Florida, it's super hot. Some people do spring recruitment. I don't know much about that because I did fall recruitment, and I know in some states it gets super cold. So just really plan ahead and look at the weather of your city that you're in. Tip number 5 is take notes after every single chapter house every single day. Just like take little notes of what will trigger a memory, so when you're reflecting on it that night or later in the day when you have to pick and drop houses, the memory will come back to you easier, and that way you can reflect on the houses a little better, remember which ones you liked better than the others, or which ones you felt more comfortable in, better said. Tip number 6, this process is for you. Remember that the house that you get a bid from, or the chapter, better said, that you get a bid from at the end of the week, is the name and the chapter house that will stay with you forever. And I'm not saying that to pressure you at all. I'm just saying that to kind of give you a wake-up call and say, hey, like, you really want to be somewhere that you're comfortable, that you're proud to represent, you know what I mean? You want something that you can say, hey, heck yeah, I'm an XXYZ. Really focus on what you like, what really speaks to you, what you feel good about, you know what I mean? Tip number 7. This happened to me. You can listen about it in my video that I mentioned earlier. Even if you really are feeling this house, this chapter house, or you just really like it early on, try to not get too caught up on it, because you really never ever know what can happen. Basically, just don't get attached, because that happened to me. I really liked the house early on, and they literally dropped me for the second round, and I had already grown attachment to it, because that's just, you know, cancers and their attachment. So just be careful, enjoy yourself, you know, think about it, be like, hey, I really like this house, but also like spread your attention around, if that makes sense. Like, don't just focus on that sole house. I don't know if that's how you say it. Tip number 8. Your row gamma, which is your recruitment counselor, that's what they're called at FSU. I feel like they're called different names at different schools. I'm not 100% sure on that, so don't quote me on it. But basically, your recruitment counselors are there for you. They're there to help you. And I'm sure it's the same at every school, they never tell you what sorority they're associated with until the end of your recruitment process, and until you get your bid and you accept it or deny it, whatever you decide, because they want you to be able to go to them without feeling uncomfortable. And they're just there for you to listen. They're there to guide you on the right track. If you're feeling a little weird, literally just all your emotions. I talk to mine so much, and I shout out Heather again, because she is just awesome. She's an angel. You can even ask them what to expect when you walk into your first house. Like, I had no idea. She told us, she was like, oh yeah, there's a countdown, there's this and that. Like, she gave us the 411 on it. When it really happened, I was like, whoa. But they're there to help you. You can ask them what to expect, talk about how you're feeling. Like I said, they can help you reflect and guide you in the right direction if needed, if necessary. Now, my final tip, and my favorite tip, if you know me, is everything happens for a reason. Again, a huge cliche, but it is one of my favorite cliches ever. And I think I'm gonna read you what I wrote, because I like what I wrote. I said, trust the process and your instincts, but for that to happen, you really have to be truthful with yourself. Take a moment to reflect this summer before going through recruitment. Think about why you want to do it. They should help you with this during orientation, but it's always great to be prepared. I also talked about this in my other video. The orientation process was basically you shaping your answer of why you want to go through recruitment. And it made me, I'm a very reflective person anyway, but it made me reflect a little bit more. And it really helped me shape my answer, shape my train of thought, things like that. Again, everything happens for a reason in the end. Go in it with as open a mind as possible. And honestly, I had a pretty good recruitment experience, thankfully, and I think it was because I went with an open mind. I didn't look up any reputations. I didn't ask anybody, oh my god, what houses are better than the others. No, don't like, Just go with the flow, honey. Enjoy yourself. You're young. You got this. You'll figure it out. If you don't like it in the end, you can leave. It's not for everybody. But you know what? It's worth a try. And if you're trying it, go you. If not, it's fine too. Whatever. Thank you for watching anyway. So yeah, that is my spiel on tips for recruitment. I hope you enjoyed. I really like being truthful with this, because I know some people can really get into their heads, and I just want to spread that positivity, open-mindedness around in the Greek community. I wish you the best of luck in recruitment. Don't hesitate to comment down below, email me with questions, anything. I'm so happy to help. If you like this video, you'll probably like my other videos too, so make sure to check them out. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And yeah, I hope you guys have a lovely day. Bye. What is that noise? Wednesday's yard work day.